Hello, party people. Welcome back to another video talking about the unfortunate mistake that is Jodi Hildebrandt. We so I wanted to have kind of some insight. So anyone who's been doing a lot of research into the case, feel free to comment down below and let me know the answers to some of the questions that I'll be posing. So this is me trying to decide if I hope whether or not Jodi Hildebrandt and Ruby Franke go to trial on their case, or whether or not I hope that they take a plea deal. And the reason that I would hope, well, we'll go over some of the pros and cons that I'm understanding about these situations. So if Jodi Hildebrandt and Ruby Franke take a plea deal, it helps to avoid a trial, which would save taxpayers money. Obviously, that's the least of my concerns right now is money, but it would save taxpayers money. It would avoid, this is the most important thing, is it would avoid cross-examination of the children, because if they can testify against her, the children, or if anyone else is called to testify, any of the victims are called to testify against Jodi Hildebrandt or Ruby Franke, it's obviously very traumatizing for them to have to relive that trauma on the stand and be questioned in a very negative way. It also makes their case look really bad. Lawyers do not want to go to trial and have to cross-examine a child or an innocent victim. It doesn't make them look good. They don't like doing it, but they will be brutal. And I know this because we already know that Ruby Franke will say anything or do anything. She already did. She accused her kid of sexually abusing the other kids. And that's another thing. If they go to trial, it drags out the process and it allows for them to make more false accusations that have consequences on these children. As we know, the one older son that's being accused of sexual abuse falsely, as far as most of us are concerned, we don't know, but we're assuming that she's full of crap. And we're on the side of the kid because there's no evidence presented to the contrary, just false claims by a person who has obviously shown their ability to be malicious. So this kid has been removed from his house. Well, not his house, because they're not with their parents. I don't know who they're with right now. But they've been removed from being in the same home as his other siblings. So they're isolating the child. Even from jail, they're isolating the child to get their way. This is how sick and twisted these women are. These creatures are. A woman is a beautiful thing. These are not women as far as I'm concerned. I don't know what they are. They're just really, really poor excuses for people. Anyway, I think that if they go to trial, there is some benefit to it. Number one, I don't know if you settle, if you can still have witness impact statements, but witness impact statements would be a big deal. It would be great if the victims who did want to come forward and make their impact statements and kind of essentially publicly shame, and rightfully so, these abusers, that would be an important opportunity for them to have the right to face the people who victimized them. And trust me, I did not go through what these kids went through. Thank goodness I didn't have to, not as a child or as an adult. Nobody deserved to go through what these children went through. Child abuse is deplorable, and it is more common than you would think. And so I'm actually probably going to make a video or two on spotting the warning signs of child abuse, as well as kind of Utah statistics on child abuse, because I feel like that goes, it goes without saying that this was a case of child abuse, but there are about 10,000 more child abuse cases or confirmed victims of child abuse in the state of Utah. And so we need to talk about that, because and that's just Utah. The United States has more. So we need to get back to the core issues rather than talking about the church so much. I mean, it's important to talk about what brought us all here on the internet together in the first place, was that these children were victimized, and we don't want to see any more of that. We want to prevent that, and we want justice for those who have hurt these kids. So for that poor kid and all the other siblings, very brave to escape, by the way. I just want to acknowledge how brave that kid was to escape the home, because he took a real big risk. He could have gotten found and then abused even worse. He could have gone to the wrong house with someone who wasn't willing to help him. But to the man down in Ivins, Utah, who made that phone call and was able to help that little boy, because he's a little boy. He's 12, but that is not a man. That is a little boy. I'm sorry. I've been 12. It is a vulnerable place to be. So I just wanted to say that if we got to focus on the issue at hand, is that this child abuse case is terrible, and it happens more than we think, and we got to be aware of it as a society. We can't stop talking about it, we can move forward from the case when it's over, but we can't move forward from the understanding that this is not just going on in one nationally televised case, that it's everywhere. So yeah, more people could give witness impact statements. More people, they might get a longer sentence, because if they take a plea deal, I don't know the difference between pleading guilty and no contest. Whatever they would need to plea, I'm sure their sentence would still be quite substantial. Hopefully, again, I don't know how it works, but I would like them to spend no less than 30 years in prison. That's just from my own heart, but I'm not the judge of that. The court system will take care of that, and the judge, I don't know who determines sentences, but the point is, I would like to see them plea so that the kids don't have to go through the trauma. And I would like for these kids to be able to move on with their lives without these evil people to torment them. I don't know what would be most beneficial, if they take a plea or if they go to trial and get longer sentences, because they're not gonna get off on all counts. If they do, I might throw some kind of riot, I believe in the court system. Okay, let me backtrack for a second. I retract my statement. There's not going to be a riot that I start. I'm not inciting violence. Don't sue me, and don't arrest me either. I don't have time to go to jail. I really don't, and I don't want to go hang out with people like Jodi either. So, or Ruby. Ugh. So anyway, of course, you guys know my style. I'm kind of off topic and I ramble a little bit, but I hope that this gives some context into how I feel about the child abuse that's going on, because that's the main issue at hand right now. And then also, I hope Jodi and Ruby will get the maximum sentence, but if we can avoid trial, wouldn't that be great? I know everyone wants to see it, but I just want this to come to a conclusion and have these kids taken care of, so that if their dad is guilty of neglect, and if their dad, Kevin, is guilty of failure to protect, I don't know what the charges he's facing are. If he's facing any charges, I'm sure that would come up in a trial, but I would like to believe that he really was ignorant to this all. I hope. I don't know. I still haven't formed an opinion on it. Because again, like I said, it's very hard for me to go over details of this case. It's not my favorite thing to think about. But if Kevin isn't guilty, I hope he gets his kids back. If he is guilty, I hope those children go to a loving home that will love, foster, and adopt, and take care of them, and treat them to the childhood that they deserve. It's non-negotiable. Every childhood matters and every kid matters, and so we need to really take that into consideration when we discuss this. A lot of us are focusing on Jodi, and me included. I'm getting off topic. I'm talking about the church. I'm talking about Jodi. But at the core of what we're talking about is these innocent children have been violated and taken advantage of and hurt, and they've had pepper smeared on them. Like, that is not discipline. I discipline my son. I discipline my daughter. I don't smear crap on them. I don't tie them to the floor. This is deplorable. And I'll make one last disclaimer. They have not been convicted yet, so all these claims are alleged. No, they're not. Alleged. Um, so yeah, don't sue me. And don't send me to jail. I don't have time for that. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Please like the video so that it shoots up the algorithm. More people can be part of the conversation. Please comment if you have anything important to say. Not about the cult of the church. Let's just leave that in our other video comment sections. So yeah, please comment, like, share, do whatever you want to do, however you feel is most necessary. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Okay, peace.